Hello and good morning. I'm Delaney and welcome to my channel. So this is a new channel and Delaneyist. And so I just wanted to give you an intro, tell you why I'm here so you can evaluate as to if you want to start a YouTube relationship with me and subscribe to my channel. So I'm going to be talking about the ocean, and I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about my background. I already recorded this video earlier in the week and it was 15 minutes long. If we're being honest, no one needs to be talking about themselves for 15 minutes, or at least I don't need to be talking about myself for 15 minutes to a group of complete strangers. For you to evaluate if you want to check out my channel or not, right? So I just kind of wanted to read you this video, make it a little bit more concise and tell you, the purpose of me being here on YouTube. Also, cheers to it being beautiful. It's the morning here. And yeah, so, okay, let's get started. I just want to insert that sometimes I use like an alternative milk, and I do not make my alternative milk. So I'm gonna get into all the things that I'm gonna be talking about. I'm gonna be talking about a plethora of things on my channel, which I'm super stoked about because I clearly can talk all day. But I recently purchased like an actual creamer for my coffee, and like creamer and hot coffee just really changes things. Okay, anyhow, let's get started. So basically, to tell you about what I'm talking about, also, this is Mathieu. He's gonna be here with me quite a bit. I thrifted him for like $3 at Goodwill. Okay, so yeah, so I'm gonna be talking quite a bit about my values and the things that make my heart sing, if you will. And those things include the ocean, our planet Earth, and why we should protect her, and sustainability, sustainable living, sustainable fashion, ethical fashion. And I know that a lot of these topics, specifically like sustainable fashion and ethical fashion, those aren't the easiest topics to always talk about because they impact a lot of people differently, and I think it's important to take accessibility into consideration. So I'll obviously get into that as we get things moving with my channel. But yeah, I'm really stoked to be here on a platform where I can share with you all of the things that I've learned about the ocean. It's an ongoing process, me learning about the ocean. But I'm really stoked about it. So I have formally shared on Instagram and TikTok, and being a 30-something-year-old millennial on TikTok, honestly, I contemplated making one because I felt like I was like tiptoeing into a space that maybe I shouldn't be tiptoeing into. Like, when you're at a party, you're invited to said party and you want to see your friend, but like you don't really want to like talk to the other group. Like, that's how I felt on TikTok, and I still feel that way. But TikTok has been fun for sharing ocean content. So that's mostly what I've done on TikTok. I've also shared some thrifty content as well. It's a lot of fun, but I really want to provide longer form videos because I eventually want to hold conversations with you all about our planet and about our oceans. I think sharing information, and I want to do it in a positive light because I understand there's so much going on in our environment that it's actually like, I don't know, to me sometimes it brings on a feeling of doom with what's going on to our environments, so to our planet. So I don't want to have conversations, and I mean, of course conversations can turn the way that they will, but I'm here to provide you with some positive information specifically about our oceans. And I have a lot to learn. And I personally I don't currently work in any type of environmental sector, anything like that. But yeah, let me just tell you a little bit about my background and how we got here. But yeah, so this all started when I was younger. Basically, my mom and we would go shopping a lot. Like anytime I was doing well in school, she would take me shopping. And this obviously was a very privileged thing to do and to say. But it really got me interested in fashion. And so that continued throughout the years where I became a shopaholic. I maxed out a credit card, which I have since paid off. I'll get into that, obviously. But it wasn't, my spending habits specifically towards fashion were terrible. But it made me love fashion so much, and I still love fashion so much. Thrifted top, very wrinkly. Thrifted though, I think like 6 years ago, maybe even more. I think there's also deodorant on it. Please, gross, please disregard that. Anyways, this is from Buffalo Exchange. It's vintage Buffalo Exchange, like, I don't know, $15 maybe. Anywho, okay, so I really loved fashion, and as I started growing up, and after I graduated high school, I wanted to go to school internationally. I wanted to study fashion design and become a wedding gown designer. And I wanted to go to a school in China that was also in France, because I studied French at the time. And what happened after that? I had met a French dude, and so he moved to China, and like, now looking back, I'm like, why would I go to a school where, anyway, okay, I was 19, give me a break. So while I was in China, I went to Shanghai, and while I was there, I toured some markets. I was gonna say warehouses, not warehouses, they were markets. And so at these markets that we went to, there was a silk market and like a linen, cotton market kind of thing, and you could have anything made, absolutely anything made. And my intent at that time, like, I already knew I wanted to be a wedding gown designer. I had been sketching wedding dresses for years. And I went to these markets with the intent of seeing if someone could make the base layer of the wedding gown for me. And then I did some more research and kind of realized that wasn't super feasible. Obviously, in America and other countries, we outsource a ton of work to other countries because it's cheaper, but it doesn't make it more ethical, right? It makes it, in many cases, unfortunately, less ethical, which obviously I'll talk about. But anyway, that was my intent. And then I moved on from that because I ended up getting a job, a really good job I stuck with for 5.5 years. I quit that job because it wasn't what I wanted to do with my life. And I ended up getting an internship to go to Germany to learn the language. But prior to that, I worked at Buffalo Exchange. So I worked there only for like four and a half months or something like that. But I ended up learning a ton about sustainability, specifically sustainable fashion. So I met a woman that was like incredibly into sustainable fashion, and she taught me a lot, and it just was honestly the gateway to where I am today, because it started with fashion. And at that point in time, I had a fashion blog where my best friend, she's a photographer, she took photos of my outfits, and like, so many of my outfits were already thrifted at that time, because remember, I had like maxed out a credit card, so I was still looking to shop, but I was looking to do it feasibly, like financially feasibly. So I would go to Goodwill and Buffalo Exchange, and even before working at Buffalo Exchange. So, but yeah, so I had a fashion blog, and then when I started working at Buffalo Exchange, I turned it into more of a sustainable kind of fashion blog, which was a lot of fun. And so it allowed me to, for whatever reason, I started focusing on plastic pollution and the ocean, because a lot of the processes involved in fashion impact negatively our waterways. And so that was a huge focus of mine, was water and fashion, and that turned into the oceans and fashion. And now it's more so fashion is a hobby, the oceans are like my passion and my lifeblood at this point in time. So I ended up going on the internship to Germany, learned more about sustainability there because I met someone and he was really big into sustainability and veganism. So I learned quite a bit while there, even though I was there for a short time. Came back, got a job, and now I'm where I am today, where I've continued to grow and learn about sustainability. But I have family that lives in Central America, so I've been exposed to our oceans more, and that's allowed me to learn more about our oceans and their importance, and continue to learn about sustainability and sustainable living. When I was given the opportunity to learn how to scuba dive last last fall. I of course took the opportunity, and it was kind of just like on a whim that I decided to do it. A lot of these things that are like wildly important to me, I end up doing on a whim, which I don't know how to feel about that. I love to be in control of things, so to like fly by the seat of my pants, it's always been successful. Knock on wood. Anyway, so I went scuba diving, fell in love, and then I realized fell in love with scuba diving, realized I needed to make a career change. So currently I'm en route to making a career change. I eventually want to go to school and study a science to address climate change, or to at least assist in the matters of climate change, because I want to stay on this planet. I love Mother Earth. She is so glorious. I do not want to go to Mars. There's no water on Mars, and I fucking love water. Can I curse here? I don't know. Anyway, okay, so that's really where I started and where we are today, and I hope that kind of sums up more concisely why I'm interested in our oceans. They're responsible for human life. They're responsible for sustaining human life. So many people eat out of our oceans. We breathe, every other breath we take is because of our oceans. So they're wildly important, and I want to focus on them because they are our livelihood, as well as billions of other beings down below. And I don't mean down below like hell, I mean down below in the oceans. It's responsible for those beings' lives as well. And yeah, it's just a beautiful ecosystem in the ocean that helps us sustain life here on land. And so yeah, I'm gonna be talking about the oceans, like I said, quite a bit. It's a learning curve for me, so I'm learning a lot of information, but I want to share what I learned. And I'll continue talking about sustainability, some low waste things that you and I can do, because it's a process for me. I'm not always low waste, hence buying a plant milk and not making it. And I want to obviously talk about fashion and thrifted fashion and sustainable, ethical, and accessible fashion as well. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope that you have a beautiful morning, and yeah, subscribe if you're interested in more content talking about our planet and how beautiful she is. And I'll see you later. Cheers.